To the United stand, Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United. Do not try and say he doesn't. He's made these quotes directly. I can read them to you right now, but it appears, well, it doesn't appear. Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United. He's under contract. What do Manchester United do in relation to that? Personally, I'm quite excited about this. I am excited about it. I think this summer is a make or break summer for Manchester United. We've had 6 years of underachieving, and we either really do reinvent the wheel and break everything up and start again and really try and build something, or we don't. And I think retaining a player at Manchester United who doesn't want to be at Manchester United anymore is a bad idea. So his quotes, and I'm reading this from Simon Stone, who's the BBC journalist. He says, this is a direct quote from Paul Pogba to reporters in Tokyo. I've had some good moments in Manchester over the last 3 years, some good moments, some bad moments, like everybody. I think for me, it could be a good time to have a new challenge somewhere else, which I think is very, very, very conclusive. Look, a player of Manchester United saying I could do with a new challenge somewhere else in a summer where you're being heavily linked with clubs who really want to sign you, it doesn't close the door, it opens it wide up. And of course, Manchester United's stance can be, we're not going to sell you. But the reality is, he should be sold now. I mean, even the Pogba fans, and I respect them, there's a lot of United fans who back Pogba, they love Pogba. There's a lot of United fans who don't want him here. I have got no problem with that. For me, I've said it to you many a times. I like Paul Pogba, the footballer. I think he has got the potential to be one of the best midfielders in the world. I think at United, it's just not worked. Like 3 years, it's just not worked. And that's not his fault, and that's not the club's fault. It's just, well, it's like a joint fault in many ways. It's just not worked out. He should be looking to leave United. His quotes make total sense. It is time for a new challenge for him. It is definitely a new challenge for him. And it's time for a new challenge for us. And what I don't want to see Manchester United Football Club do now is be weak and, be the 6th best club in England. Be the Emmerdale Cup entrance. No, do not be that. Encompass something else. Try and encompass the fact that you want to be back on top of football. And if you want to be on top of English football and competing for European Cups, when a player of Pogba's magnitude says he wants a new challenge, you boot him out and get the best money you can get. Please do not say he's under contract, he's going nowhere. That is weak, it is petulant, and it shows us to be a weak football club. He wants to go. We're bigger than Paul Pogba. Let him go. I respect the fact that he wants to go. I respect the fact that he's come out. I know it's annoying, but it's time to move on, and I'm excited by that new page. It could get worse before it gets better, but long term, if you go and bring in, like I said last night, I did this video last night, make sure you watch it, Solskjaer's £300 million challenge. I wonder why I did that video talking about Paul Pogba going. You had to wait for the quotes, but I knew they were coming out. That's why I did the video last night. All these in the know saying, I've been told Pogba's going nowhere. I don't know where they're getting it from. They're probably getting it from their gran or something, from beyond the grave or something, some bollocks that they're charging you for or whatever. It's bollocks. Paul Pogba wants to go from Manchester United. This is well known by anybody who's got any sort of connections around the club. It's well known. And I'm not saying I have, but I know people who have. Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United. I've been saying this for ages, and a lot of you have. Now he wants to go, let him go. Do not say anything else. So when I did the video last night, I know Pogba wants to go. And I said, it's exciting. If we use the money from Pogba well, you can bring in Yuri Tielemans, Thomas Partey and Bruno Fernandes. Happy days. I'm excited by that. I am excited by that. I'm not saying those players are better than Pogba, but I think they've got the potential to be better in Manchester United shirt than Paul Pogba. And that's the issue. Paul Pogba's a great player, but in a Manchester United shirt, he's very inconsistent because what is around him. I don't think we can bring the players of the calibre in to play with Pogba. You can't go. We can't sign the Griezmanns, the Verrattis. We can't do that. So what we need to do is sell that asset and try and buy a team that's going to become a very good team in the future. So I'm excited by Pogba leaving. I know a lot of people are upset about it. I understand that. I do understand that. It's not gone the way any of us thought it was going to go. It's not gone the way Pogba thought it was going to go. But if you go back to the videos when we signed Paul Pogba 3 years ago, a lot of you said it and I said it as well. I don't think this is going to end the way people think it is. I think people thought, Pogba's coming home, he's going to be here for 10 years. I always felt it was a weird transfer move. Like we were in the Emmerdale Cup 3 years ago. Bigger clubs wanted him. Zidane wanted him then, and he came to United. And I think the plan is very similar to what Riola's going to do with De Ligt. You go to this club for 3 years, and then in 3 years' time, we take you to the club you want to do, but we make a load of money in the meantime. And I think that's what's happening with Pogba. So if people, Pogba swap deal for who, says Steve Wynyard? I suppose much of it depends on where Paul Pogba's going to go. Welcome to Gaz Gaming HD, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, you can click the join button to join. Sharath Kamath Fitness says, I will take 120 million and add to the transfer budget. He's not a good role model for the younger players in the team. I mean, look, that's by the by. I think whether Paul Pogba's a good role model or not. We were talking about Diop and Skriniar in a moment, but whether Paul Pogba's a good role model or not, the reality is he's come out and said today he wants a new challenge. And I think, the Pogba fan base will be, I'm not going to name names. There's some people who are on the United stand. They love Paul Pogba, and it seems to me like they support Paul Pogba more than they support Manchester United, which I just find very, very weird. I like Paul Pogba, but I think he should go. I think it's best for him. I think it's best for us. And the Pogba sympathisers will be, it's not his fault, this, that and the other. I'm more interested in the United badge. I'm more interested in Manchester United Football Club. Players come and go. I was gutted when Ronaldo went. He actually did do stuff in the United shirt and wanted to go to Real Madrid, and that hurt. But you move on as a football club, and we will move on from this. It puts a lot more pressure. It puts a lot more pressure onto Solskjaer and Woodward and the board to produce now. We've not done anything in this transfer market yet. We've got Daniel James. We're messing around other signings. But, what I said last night, is right back a priority for Manchester United when we're going to lose Paul Pogba and we're already 2 midfielders short. We need 3 midfielders now. If Pogba goes, and he should go, we need 3 midfielders. You've got to replace Fellaini, Herrera and Pogba. 2's not enough. That midfield without Pogba is crap. Matic, McTominay, Fred and Pereira. That is a bottom half of the Premier League midfield. That is a dodgy midfield. Whatever you think about those players, some have got potential, some are okay. That is a crap midfield. It needs major investment now. And I just fear that United will go, you're not for sale, you've got 3 years on your contract. You cannot keep an unhappy player of the quality of Pogba. When Pogba's happy is inconsistent, imagine how inconsistent he'll be when he wants to go. We've got to get this deal moving. We've got to get it moved. We've got to sell him. We've got to get what's good for us. £150 million cash or 100 million and a decent player. That's what we've got to do. But I'm going to take the high ground on this. I'm excited by this. I knew he wanted to go, and the club have got to act now. The club's official line is Paul Pogba's not for sale. Would you sell him, or would you forcefully keep a player who doesn't want to be here? His words, it's time for a new challenge. So it's time for a new challenge for us as well. Embrace it. Don't be the weak club that goes, you're not going anywhere, we're going to force you to stay. Can't wait to see Pogba be booed by Madrid fans week in, week out. Rich man's decore, says Roy Keane, simply the best. And Strutton says Lukaku, Skriniar squat, Wan-Bissaka 50 million, Rabiot free, Tillemans 40 million, Sancho 100 million, total 190. Selling Pogba brings the total down to 40 million. Then there's loads left. Yeah, exactly. You've got to use it for your own bits. Did your mate give you any more info about transfers, says Thomas Hill? I'll come to that in a moment. And Sharath Kamath Fitness says, whatever people say about Papa Perez, one bad season and he buys all good players in Europe. Well, I don't know whether he's going to Real Madrid. He might go back to Juventus. You never know with Paul Pogba. But for those tuning in, please do smash a like on the video. Paul Pogba has said that I'll tell you exactly what Paul Pogba said. I've been in Manchester for 3 years. Some good moments, some bad moments like everybody. I think for me, it'd be a good time to have a new challenge somewhere else. I mean, bloody hell. You can't back the player like, I have no bad feelings towards Pogba. I've never had those. But what I would say is this. He openly wants to leave Manchester United. He's openly, publicly thrown us under the bus there and said, I want to go. I want a new challenge. That's not the sort of player that you want at United. And, forget Woodward and the Glazers, because can you trust them in the transfer window? Solskjaer's got to step up to the plate here. Don't be smiley happy, Paul. Don't be smiley happy. Please stay, Paul. Please stay, Paul. Stand up to the plate and say, get out. And the first person Solskjaer needs to go and speak to is Sir Alex Ferguson, because Sir Alex Ferguson will say, get rid of him. Get rid of him right now. Manchester United's your priority. He wants to go. It's just bad. All next season, he has a bad game. We forced him to stay. He doesn't want to be here. It's not worth it. Get everything you can for him and get him out and build something brand new. And also, the positive is, Pogba is a massive influence in that dressing room. You remove him because he wants to go. You've got a dressing room you can build yourselves there. I mean, you've still got bloody Lingard and Rashford, but I reckon they can be sorted out. Pogba, massive influence, wants to move on, move him on. Please go Pogba, Mark, love your shows. Please get Woodward to do his bloody job, says Edgar TSE. I mean, that's the concern now. That is the concern, I've got to be honest. If Pogba goes, it gives us a load more work to do. I think if Pogba stays, 2 midfielders, centre-back, right winger, right-back. Pogba goes, you've got to bring another midfielder in. But, you know, I agree. I mentioned it on the last night. I mean, look, I hope everybody after this show goes and watches last night's show. It's called Solskjaer's 300 million challenge. It was relevant last night. It's very relevant now. How you'd spend that money when Pogba goes. Pogba this morning announcing he wants to go. The United stand last night doing a video that Pogba's going and how we should spend the money. I know Pogba's going. A lot of people know Pogba's going. A few people just don't dare say it, because if you say Pogba's going before he says it, you come across as bitter, you come across as a hater. So people in the know prefer to go, oh, I've been told Pogba's staying, because you do it for likes and everyone says that. What have I always said? Pogba wants to go. I did the video last night because I knew this was coming out this morning. Pogba wants to go. He's publicly said it. I'll tell you what, I'm excited by it. You know what? This transfer window, I was getting a little bit, oh, bloody hell, it's the middle of June and we've not done any business. This excites me. Paul Pogba saying he wants to leave United, it excites me. I like challenges. I like, being down and out, fighting back from obscurity. I think this is going to be a long journey for Manchester United. We're not winning the title next year. We're probably not winning the title the year after that, to be honest. But this, I like this. Pogba leaves us. All the rivals will be going, aha, Pogba's left you, you're shit now. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Come on. Manchester United, that's what it's all about. The badge on the shirt. Let's bloody get back and show everybody. Let's get players into this club who want to play for this club, who want to be here for a long time. Talented players with growth. Solskjaer's an inexperienced manager. Let's get some players around who are inexperienced and build something. Let's build something at our football club. And you know what? If De Gea doesn't want to be part of it, off you go. Lukaku doesn't want to be here. Off you go. Let's build something. Let's get our club back. Let's start to love our football club again, because at the moment we don't love those players. So I'm all for it. And to be honest with you, I must just say about Paul Pogba, I don't have any bad feelings towards Pogba saying he wants to go. It doesn't make me feel good because it's my football club and I don't like him publicly saying that. It undermines us. It's like brand Pogba, I want a new challenge. And it shits all over us. It throws us under the bus. But actually, I do respect him in many ways because I think he does need a new challenge. And I think by him publicly saying that, it puts all the onus onto Manchester United now. Fair play, Pogba says he wants to go. We're all looking at United now. Are you going to be weak and keep a player that doesn't want to be here? Or are you going to be decisive, get a good deal and do something proactive this summer, get 3 midfielders in and let's properly rebuild? Because at the moment, I feel at Manchester United, there's all this talk of a rebuild. And the fans are all for a rebuild. But it feels like we're not doing a rebuild. We're getting plasters out on a dinghy that's got a few leaks in it and we're going to stick sellotape and plasters all over it. You know what? Chuck that bloody dinghy under a lawnmower, tear it up and buy a new one. And let's have a proper rebuild. That's what I want Manchester United to do. So I applaud Paul Pogba for saying he wants to go. And now it's all on United. Are you going to be a weak, second-rate club who forces a player to stay because you're petulant and stubborn? Or are you going to go, thanks Pogba, off you go. We're Manchester United, 150 million, add that to the pot. We're going to go and rebuild a new team and you can go off wherever you want to go. Ricardo Torres says, when would be an ideal moment to recruit a director of football considering we're in the middle of a transfer season? It should have been done. It should have been done, Ricardo. The director of football should have come in February, hasn't been brought in, so we're stuck with what we've got. Alec Martin, feeling dissatisfied so far. I'm up for Pogba leaving, but I'm worried that as replacement will be Longstaff and Ed will balls up the Bruno deal. Look, we're going to talk about that, but you know what? We can't do anything about that. I think it's right that Pogba goes. It gives a big pot of money. How would the Glazers, Solskjaer spend that money will be scrutinised by us over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks. And when I say us, I mean the fans. We don't know what they're going to do. I know what they should do. You know what they should do. We've all got our own ideas. I think Bruno Fernandes is absolutely essential now. I think that Tielemans is a player they should be looking at. There's Thomas Partey. There's Rabiot. There's players we could go and get like Ndidi. You know, they've got to be very decisive at United now because that midfield we've got left is crap. But look, Pogba saying he wants a new challenge, I think it's a real positive. Remember to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Look, we'll talk about other things at the moment, but as I said, if you watched the video last night, go and watch it again. I knew this was coming out this morning, but apparently, nobody knows anything. Everybody's talking about Pogba's going to stay. I knew it. I bloody knew it. I knew Pogba was wanted to go because a few people do know he wants to go, and it's come out. So, there's your fucking in the nose saying, I've been told Pogba's going to stay. You're an idiot. Who's telling you that? But interesting. Really exciting. Really looking forward to what happens with this now. You know what? I'm very pleased that Pogba's come out and said that he wants a new challenge because let's sell him. And as it says on the left, where's he going to go? Real Madrid high interest, Juventus high interest. I think it's Real Madrid. I think he wants the Real Madrid move. I don't think he'll go back to Juventus. But Real Madrid, there's a danger there. There is a big danger, and it's called Gareth Bale. And Ed Woodward apparently likes Gareth Bale. So what's a good deal for United could be a bloody stupid deal. We could do something stupid like, say, we'll take 50 million plus Gareth Bale. Oh my God, no. That's a terrible deal. That is a terrible deal. Ed Woodward, payday incoming. Scott McTominay is miles better anyway. By the way, we already have a direct football and he's the best there is. So I presume he's talking about himself there. And Ekin Okori says that this is Pogba's first quote on the matter, yet all season he's been hounded despite getting the goals and assists. So I understand his position. Look, I think Pogba wanted to go a year ago. Start of the season, he wanted to go. He hated Mourinho. And I think when Mourinho went, a lot of people thought, Pogba will stay now. But I think Pogba's wanted to go for a long time. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right, let's talk about Issa Diop from West Ham. I purposely didn't do a video on this yesterday because I think it's just totally incredible, uncredible and ridiculous. So Manchester United apparently offering 45 million for Issa Diop, who is a 22-year-old 6'4" centre-back for West Ham and a player. West Ham say no, and they don't want to sell. This is coming from Sky Sports. Because Sky talked about Daniel James, a lot of people are listening to Sky Sports now. Sky Sports are very, very, very hit and miss. Some would say over the last 4 years, they've been terrible. But they do get the odd thing right. Now, with Issa Diop, this is a weird signing. He's a 22-year-old centre-back at West Ham. They only signed him a year ago. He's very quick. He's very good in the air. But I don't see what he brings to Manchester United. He's a right-sided centre-back. So, look, I'm not saying he's a bad signing. I'm just saying it's a really weird connection from Manchester United. And the reality is with Manchester United at the moment, and the only thing I can say from speaking to a few people is that Wan-Bissaka is a high priority. Harry Maguire is high priority. And Bruno Fernandes is high priority. Those three players are high priority for Manchester United. Doesn't mean we're going to get them. We should be getting them, especially if Pogba's going. You've got to get your high priorities. But Diop, I think, you know what? I just think it's... I don't even get why it's out there. It doesn't mean we're not going to end up signing him, but he's certainly not a high priority. And if we're going down to Diop, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but if you're going down there, it shows you how bad it's going with the priorities that we do want. We clearly wanted De Ligt. I think we wanted Koulibaly. We want Harry Maguire. And if you're not getting any of those and you're going down to Diop, we're in a bad place. Mr. Beast says, when Liverpool sold Coutinho, they signed Van Dijk and Alisson, two of the key players in Liverpool. The Pogba money can save the club. Sign Fernandes now. Yeah, they've got to use that money well. And welcome to Vince Kelly, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. So, with Diop, I didn't even do the video yesterday because I just thought, it's just, to me, that's a story that gets thrown out by, it just gets thrown out. It's like, it's a quiet, let's be honest. England's women played on Friday night. There is no tournaments this weekend. There's no major news yesterday. I spoke to Georgie about it in the morning and I said, I guarantee at some point today, there'll be a big United story that's a load of bollocks because it's just a dead day and they need a big story. I never would have predicted West Ham and Diop centre-back, but I don't think there's anything in it. I really don't think we'll be signing him at all. I don't. 22-year-old French, tall, fast, but that's not the sort of centre-back United need. United need... look, if we sign him, he's a good player, but I genuinely do not see anything in that. What I did like is a story yesterday I saw was that Lukaku wants to go to Inter Milan. Inter Milan want Lukaku, and United either want 70 million quid or they want Skriniar. Now, that's the sort of deal I like. 70 million quid for Lukaku is brilliant. Skriniar is amazing. So that would interest me, but whether they'd be good enough to sell us Skriniar, I don't know. Cobb Ross Aitkins, if we get 150 million fine, but I think keeping him if no one bids enough is a sign of a big club. Madrid did it with Modric, Liverpool with Coutinho. Cobb there is making a good point, and it's always about different opinions. If we don't get the right deal for Pogba, we don't sell. Well, I actually think you've got to, I personally have a different opinion on that. I said, look, if nobody will give us any more than 120 million, you've got a decision to make. I agree, but I don't think Pogba can survive at Manchester United now. I think look, Pogba said he wants a new challenge, right? At the end of the season, you saw the fans swearing at him. If you go to United games or if you listen to it on the telly, Pogba is a divider. Half the fan base don't like Pogba, half the fan base love Pogba. Right, what do you think that balance is going to be first game of the season against Chelsea when he said he wants a new challenge? Do you think the people who don't like Pogba are going to suddenly like him again? Or do you think some of the people who do like him are going to move into the don't like him camp? He knows he's not wearing a United shirt next season. He would not say, I want a new challenge, if he thought there was any chance he would be wearing a United shirt next season. Because he will get booed. And I don't agree with that. But there are people who don't like Pogba at United, at Old Trafford. Match-going fans, non-match-going fans. They don't like Pogba. So him saying he doesn't want to be here, he's never done that before. Even the rumours around Man City, he just did the shush thing, didn't he? He's now said he wants a new challenge. It makes his position untenable. It really does. He won't be a United player next year. So United have to not get bullied and make this deal work. Thanks for making transfers easy to follow. Last estimate from United, No said 105 players have been linked to United in this window. Keep up. Thanks, as Harrod Hochsversvold. We're going to get linked to a lot of crap. Dan Clark, would we not be able to cover each position we need if we get Pogba, Lukaku and Sanchez out of the club? A lot of wages back and transfers to add to budget. That's a good point, Dan. And I think also what I like from clubs is when they know they're selling a major asset and they buy players before it happens. Look, Woodward, the Glazers, everybody else, they're on trial this summer for 6 years of bad transfers. This summer is about whether they can produce a good transfer window, which we desperately need. Pogba's going to go. Pogba's going to go for a lot of money. What United need to do before Pogba goes is get deals over the line. Because if we sell Pogba and we've got £300 million in our skyrocket pocket, then everybody knows we've got £300 million in our pocket. So suddenly, Bruno Fernandes goes up from 60 to 90. Harry Maguire goes up from 70 to 90. Tielemans goes up from 40 to 60. You're paying a premium on everybody. Manchester United, over the next few weeks, because I think Pogba won't go for a while, have got to sign players. Use the money you know you're going to get from Pogba and the budget you've got. Sign players now. What could happen with United is we'll spend so long trying to keep Pogba, we'll lose out on targets. Pogba will go anyway, and we won't have time to do the business. They need to get in this mindset. Pogba's going. It might take till August for him to go, but he is going. We need to focus. I'd say to Mino Raiola, you sort the deal out with Real Madrid. This is what we want. Crack on with it and come back to me at the end of July, because I've got work to do now. And then you go and focus on all the players you want to get in. Then you come to Raiola at the end of July. Have you sorted a deal out with Real Madrid? Yeah, right. Let's sign it. I've got everything I need. Let's sign it. If Pogba leaves, who's next up as captain, says Abraham Madrana. Well, I don't think Pogba was going to be the captain anyway, to be honest with you. Club captain's Ashley Young at the moment. You can't have unhappy players in the dressing room. Pogba would divide the dressing room very quickly, get rid, and we move on, says Philip Burton would. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Remember, smash a like on the video, everybody. Pogba has said he wants a new challenge from his own mouth. Get your comments in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Remember, we always go live if there's any big Manchester United news that we feel is credible. And we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We will be live at 8 o'clock tonight as well. Get in Jadon Sancho, please, says Hanno. I personally said it last night, said it many times. I think that's the deal to go and do. I think that's the deal. You lose Paul Pogba at Manchester United, you need a superstar to come in. You do. Every club needs a superstar. And I think even if you get Fernandes, Tielemans, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Thomas Partey, whoever, you get those players, they're not really a superstar there. Rashford, Martial, Lingard, they're not superstars, are they, at the moment? United need a superstar player, and I think Jadon Sancho would be something that if Pogba went out one door and Jadon Sancho came in the other, I think most Man United fans would be happy. I do. My thoughts on Pogba, well, I'll summarise it very, very quickly. I said at the end of the season, I felt that Pogba needed a new challenge and United needed a new challenge. It wasn't about hating Pogba. I like him. I just think that was the logical thing. Sometimes in life, you don't need to have any real agenda or passionate hate about anything. You can look at, it's like when people get divorced. Sometimes it's not about falling out. It's just like, this isn't working, is it? Let's go our separate ways and enjoy life. And I think this hasn't worked for Pogba. It hasn't worked for United. I'm glad he's come out and said he wants a new challenge, and I think they need to separate ASAP so we can build and he can go and do what he wants to do. I'm quite relaxed about it. It's not the end of the world. Ronaldo leaving was terrible, but this is not the end of the world, and I want it to happen, and I think it's exciting if United use the opportunity in the right way. That midfield is crap without Pogba. You've got to sign 3 players. We need 3 midfielders in there. But it's so exciting because, there are players out there. And I think in many ways, if Pogba was staying, there's that concern about whether a Bruno Fernandes would fit in. There is that concern about, who would we sign? I think if Pogba goes, it becomes exciting. And I remember that summer when we sold Hughes, Kanchelskis and Ince. And yeah, we still had people like Roy Keane, Schmeichel, Cantona was serving a ban. And we brought all these youngsters in. And everyone was like, that's it, United's finished. You can't win anything with kids. And we built something that then 3 years later went and won the treble. So that's what I want. I want to see, it's going to be hard, but I think if you're going to change things, change it. Don't do half a job. Pogba would leave next summer anyway. Let's get rid of him now. Let's start the build. Because if we half build this year and we have a good season, then Pogba goes, you're starting again anyway. Let's just get on with it. And the same with De Gea. If De Gea wants to go, let's just get on with it. Ekon Okori says, would you stay if you were Pogba? If you were the top scorer and assister and getting booed while others get a pass, surely it would make you think. I think you're spot on. I think as soon as Pogba finished that game against Cardiff and saw the reaction of some fans, he probably thought, look, I'm never going to be loved here by everybody. Mark, there are strong reports we're going for Diop from West Ham for 45 million plus a player, says Joe Stringer. I spoke about it, Joe. I don't think we're going to sign Diop. I think we're going to get Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire is the high priority for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka, Bruno Fernandes, they're the 3 players that I think United are going for. And as I said, I did the video last night about Pogba because I knew what was going to come out this morning. And, sometimes you do hear things that are accurate. And I don't like to spread bullshit. So let's see what happens. Roy Keane, simply the best. Bale plus Navas will probably be part of the deal. Oh, don't ruin it, Roy. Don't ruin it, Roy. And Ed Woodward says there will be a statue of me built in Stockport and Merseyside. The destruction of Manchester United is underway. Nobody's going to stop it. Stop pretending like I'm on your side. I'm not and never have been. Well, it's a big summer for Ed Woodward, isn't it? It really, really is. Mitch says that Pogba can get lost. I know there are people out there that don't like Pogba, but I don't think we need to be like that. I think we need to be grown up about this and it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Brighton Nwadu says I'd get Bruno Fernandes, Rabiot and Tielemans and have a brand new midfield. Exactly. You may as well do that. We haven't replaced Ronaldo over 10 years. There's no hope, said Jamie. That is a concern. No one's bigger than Manchester United, says Mikel Littler. Spot on. Luke Parker says a front 3 of Martial, Rashford and Sancho is frightening. Flair, creativity and pace with Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans feeding them. Look, you know what? Luke makes a good point there, and I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. David De Gea stays in goal. Wan-Bissaka comes in at right back. Lindelof and Maguire centre-backs. Luke Shaw left back. You bring in Rabiot, Tielemans and Fernandes as a midfield 3. Sancho on the right. Martial on the left. Rashford up front. That's a good team. That's a good team. And also, it's a fresh team where Solskjaer can get them playing pressing, high-intensity football, which he couldn't do halfway through the season because they were so used to being lazy, pragmatic Mourinho team. So, that's what could happen. And I think we've got to look towards that and hope we get somewhere near that. But that happens without Pogba. So, Pogba gives us a load more money on the transfer budget. I think we had 200 million. I think we've now got 300 million if Pogba goes, which it looks like he really, really is going to do that. Fred's going to go on loan to Roma, says Praveen. Wouldn't surprise me. And does Madrid have a transfer ban? So does Manchester United have a transfer ban, says Anthony coming in. No. I know, it's a good joke, but we don't. Thanks for the memories, Pogba's, but bye-bye, says Dingora. If we bring in Longstaff for Pogba, could we get relegated, says Hamish Boys. Yes, we would. We could. You've got to get quality in. Pogba out, Rabiot, Fernandes, Partey in. You've made my money, says Jake Pickering. And I think people don't like Pogba because he mocked the English fans, players when he won the World Cup last year, says this is John Ass. I can't remember him doing that, John. I can't remember. There is no way you get 150 million for Pogba. It will be around 100 million, says Doctor. Well, I agree with Cobb then. I'm not selling Pogba for 100 million pounds. I know it's got nothing to do with me, but I would not sell Pogba for 100 million pounds. We lose money on him. He cost us 90 million 3 years ago. Inflation in football, he's worth 150 million. I know many United fans would say, you're joking, he's not worth that, but he's got 3 years left on his contract. We paid 90 million pounds for him. We do not have to sell him. People want him. He wants to go. you just dig your feet in and say, look, you can go, but I want 150 million, or I want 100 million plus a decent player. So, yeah. Gerard Twommy says, Mark, I agree with you. Pogba out excites me a lot, but I'm not enthusiastic about Woodward's ability to adequately replace him in the current window. Well, that is the concern. And I understand that. That is the concern. We've been talking for bloody ages, and we could talk for ages and ages more. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Make sure you smash a like on the video. We got 2,000 likes the other day when we were absolutely live. Pogba's worth £70 million max, says Cosmic Bag. I love it when we get non-United fans in the live comments who don't understand logic. I don't care whether you think Pogba's shit. I don't care if you think he's a B-Tech Scott Noble. Mark Noble. I don't care what you think about Pogba. I don't care what you think about his ability. I am telling you facts. He's worth £150 million in this market, and I can prove it loads of different ways. And like I say, the reality is we spent £90 million on him 3 years ago. Inflation dictates that his price has to be up around 130 million. He's a World Cup winner. Coutinho went for nearly 150. He's better than him. He's worth 150 million in this market. And if Ed Woodward can't sell that to somebody and he sells him for 100 million, that's ridiculous. We've made a loss. He's worth 150 million in this market, and he's got a number of years left on his contract. Now you can say, I wouldn't pay that. It's not your money. Manchester United are going to sell him. Real Madrid or Juventus are going to buy him, and we've got to say that's what we're selling him for. We've got the power, and if he goes for anything less than that, we're stupid. We really are. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If anything else happens today, we will go live. We are live again at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm sure we'll be talking about the fallout from this, but for now, Paul Pogba has said he wants a new challenge. Get your comments in below if you're not watching live. What are your thoughts? And I will see you live at 8 o'clock. Make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on. And obviously, if anything else happens today, I'll go live. I'm not going to go live if we get linked to Southampton's right back. I'm not. You know, it's bollocks. But if it's credible like this, we will do. Speak to you all soon.